President Bongbong Marcos Jr. dapat na nga bang bumaba sa pwesto dahil sa mga pangyayaring kanyang nasasangkutan, at ngayon balitang-balita na tinanggal umano sa isang survey ang ating president dahil sa sobrang baba nito. Biruin mo naman, below 30% ang kanyang rating. Sa lahat ng government official, si President Marcos lang daw ang pinakamababa, kaya't ginawan daw ng paraan ng First Lady para hindi na isama sa muli na naman sanang survey. Pero bihira mangyari yun na ang president hindi kasama sa isang public survey, yung sa ganon siya dapat ang nandoon. Panoorin natin ang vlog ni Attorney Trixie Angeles.
So maglalabas ng statement tungkol sa press freedom. Pero tumataginting yung ehemplo ng kanilang panggugurgur ng mga komentarista. Oh, hindi ka ba maiinis niyan? Hindi ka ba magre-respond sa ganyang klaseng stimulus? Ha? Hindi ka tao? Bakit nagtataka kayo? Ano yan? Iisipin niyo. I'm sure you're trying to infer something bad like, nabayaran lang yan, kaya galit na galit. Excuse me. Anything that you say or bring up to try to discredit it does not change the following facts. Nag-statement sila on press freedom, pinatanggal ako ni First Lady sa DWIZ. Okay. Ngayon, ang balita sa loob ng PCO, which is of course super duper secret daw, ay in the first quarter, he was already, in December, he was already supposedly below 50%. Hindi ito social weather station findings, ha? This was somebody else. Yung hindi naglabas ng findings din. Naglabas sila about other issues, pero hindi nila nilabas ang tungkol dun sa presidente. Ngayon, according to them, ang rating daw ng president was already below 40. Was already at 40 at about this time. And in the first quarter is registering at 33%. Bakit tayo naman doon? It just so happens kasi na confluence of events, sunod-sunod. So let's start with that survey. In April 4, nag-post kay Alex, nag-post po ang social weather station ng latest survey nila about the next top officials. Take note of the term, next top officials. Bakit next? As it turns out, it starts from the Vice President, and then the Senate Speaker, and then the Senate President, and then the House Speaker, and then the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. So, missing in action doon sa findings ng social weather station ay yung tungkol sa, thank you kay the Michelle, tungkol doon sa ating Pangulo. And it's unusual, nobody really picked it up, pero April 4 pa ito lumabas. It's now May 4, di ba? Or yes, it's a whole month have gone by na hindi natin napapansin because suspiciously a lot of mainstream media where we normally would have gotten this balita did not post it. So what's going on? Apparently, and we have sources within the OPS or the PCO who told us na actually the president's ratings are very, very low. Now, yung last na surveys from Pulse Asia, Publicus, and all that were taken also around the time for were supposedly taken for the period of the first quarter. Ito, posted in April 4, says that it was taken from the period in December. First week of December. First week of December, but there's no showing of how the president was doing during that time. Bakit? Why exclude the president from this list? There's no indication. It just says that the survey is of the next top officials, meaning they excluded the president. But that's unusual. When has the president ever been exempted from this? The surveys also are what would indicate how the administration is doing base dun sa popularidad ng mga opisyalis nito. Sino bang pangunahing opisyalis dito kundi ang ating Pangulo? Ngayon, ang balita sa loob ng PCO, which is of course super duper secret daw, ay in the first quarter, he was already, in December, he was already supposedly below 50%. Hindi ito social weather station findings, ha? This was somebody else. Yung hindi naglabas ng findings din. Naglabas sila about other issues, pero hindi nila nilabas ang tungkol dun sa presidente. Ngayon, according to them, ang rating daw ng president was already below 40. Was already at 40 at about this time. And in the first quarter is registering at 33%. Okay. Wala kayong makikita nito online because I got my information directly from friends who are still inside Malacanang and others. And there are still some already who are inside the PCO. So, ang baba na ng rating ng ating Pangulo, super baba yan, 40 and 30%. Samantalang ang ating Vice Presidente ay tumataginting sa 61%. Ang susunod is the Senate President na over 40% and then nasa 45% tied ang House Speaker at saka si Chief Justice Sundo. Galing, So, the ratings are bad. Pero, imbis na aminin na, thank you kay Emily Cruz, imbis na aminin na may problema na sila sa ratings, tinanggal na lang yung pangalan ni Pangulo. So, thank you kay Michelle Rivera, kay Emily Cruz. Yan. Okay, huwag niyo akong unahan. Yung mga tanong na it's already about the topic, so huwag niyo unahan. Okay, so ito yung problema, no? May problema sila sa ratings. Instead of just coming clean and letting the people see kung anong nandun, and in-out na lang nila yung presidente, pero fortunately, hindi na nila ginalaw pa yung ratings ng ating vice-presidente. Ano pa? Meron silang post about celebrating Press Freedom Day. Ang ilan na ito, no? Akala mo naman, napakasinop nila sa pagpuprotekta ng karapatan natin magsalita at magpahayag. Ngayon, maraming reklamo na panahon ni Duterte. Meron pa rin bang reklamo dito sa panahon ni BBM? Well, apparently yes. Pag tinignan ninyo yung PCIJ report about the state of press freedom nitong 2024, sinasabi nila, hindi lang nag-improve. In short, kahit sabihin pa ng ating PCO na sila ay pumoprotekta o tumutulong sa pagpoprotekta ng karapatan magsalita at magpahayag, then we know it's not true. Kasi marami na pong nagsabi na, may issue na sila on that one. Next. Pagdating dito sa Senate investigation, narinig niyo po ba ako? Okay. Pagdating sa, sabi ni Ma'am Javi, press freedom talaga at sila pa talaga ang nagpahayag, di naman sila nabulunan. Well, pigil na pigil yung hearing nila. Thank you kay Alex at saka kay Nurse Jane. So, ang weird, no? They don't even acknowledge ginurgo ng SMNI. Okay, tanggal ako sa DWIZ. May tumatawag kay Crisette para ipatanggal din siya. Okay, may tumatawag sa Manila Bulletin para ipatanggal din si Crisette. Ano pa? Diba, mayroong mga tatlo na namatay na mga mamamahayag. Bukod pa dyan, may 75 instances daw since the time that BBM became president, 75 instances of intimidation. Ano yan? Ano sasabihin nila talagang ino-observe nila? Hindi sila talaga hindi sila nahabag doon sa sinasabi nila. Ngayon, sa Senate hearing naman. Sa Senate hearing, ayon kay Maharlika, and we have double-checked some of our own sources, sinasabi nila totoo. Mayroon talagang effort na may effort na kumbinsihin si Mr. Morales na wag nang pumunta sa susunod na hearing ng Senate. Pero either pinatakot siya or pinabribe siya. The point being that ayaw siyang pa-attendin. So, pasok nyo na rin yan dun sa Press Freedom Day nila. Ngayon, bukod pa dyan, sinabi na may claim earlier this year in breaking news ng Manila Bulletin kanina, nag-announce daw ang China that they entered into an agreement with the PH about the management of the conflicting claims in the West Philippine Sea. At ang kausap nila ay yung commander ng Westcom. Westcom is the Western Command. Ang kanilang base is in Palawan. Yun ang closest kasi doon sa mga areas. So, and apparently, yung kasunduan na yon tungkol sa parang code of conduct doon sa West Philippine Sea, particular na sa Scarborough, ay sinang-ayunan ni DND Chief Gibo Chodoro at ni National Security Advisor Anyo. So, kumbaga, we didn't know about it, that they have entered into it, and China pa ang nag-announce. So, what happened to transparency and the hypocrisy of blaming former President Duterte for the so-called gentleman's agreement, nasang-ayon naman, they're not saying this, nasang-ayon naman sa arbitration agreement. Nakita ko kasi kanina yung statement ni former Justice, Senior Associate Justice Carpio, and he's talking about pinagbawal daw ang Philippine ship sa pagpasok sa lagoon ng Scarborough. Wait, wala pong usapan na ganyan, wala pong nakatalakay dun sa arbitration agreement tungkol sa lagoon. Instead, ang sinabi ay yung 12 nautical miles na traditional fishing area ay lahat ng countries, China, Vietnam, and the Philippines, although hindi kasama ang Vietnam dito sa kaso, they consider this traditional fishing grounds, therefore neither party can exclude anybody from that area. It also is, it complicates matters because that is also located in the exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. So, after all the blaming, after all for the lack of any other word, I'll use the journalistic term, salsal, they kept harping and harping on the alleged gentleman's agreement, failing to indicate the history that goes back to President Fidel Ramos and the attempts of President Joseph Estrada, as well as the fiasco of President Noynoy Aquino. Okay, there you go. Okay, so so take all of these instances together, and what can you conclude to how the government is dealing with these things? Number one, mukhang it is a rule of hypocrisy. Kasi magbibintang sila, halimbawa in the case of the Scarborough, magbibintang sila ng ibang tao, particularly former President Duterte, on a matter that they appear to be doing. Kaya lang, posibleng sasabihin ni Presidente Marcos, ay, hindi ko alam yan. Pag sinabi naman ng isang presidente, teka, hindi mo alam yung ginagawa ng mga tao ninyo who were entering into an international agreement, meaning they were representing the country and talking to China at the same time. Diba? They were representing the Philippines, coming to an agreement with China, and the president did not know about this. What does that say about the quality and the caliber of the president's ability to control his people? Also, his ability to find out what's going on. Magiging health issue na naman yata ito. So it also seems to be, it is also hypocrisy to keep posting about how they uphold press freedom, how they observe press freedom. But at the same time, the PCIJ reports a dismal picture of, continuing the dismal picture of the state of media freedom here. But even without relying on PCIJ, because we don't always see eye to eye with them, what about what we personally know? Hello? Huh? What we personally know? SMNI? DWIZ? What they're trying to do with Reset? The takedown of accounts? The trolls that are funded by government itself with no other purpose except na asarin tayo or to make us want to stop. To make us want to stop doing this. To make us want to stop participating in the national conversation. Thank you kay GM at saka kay TJ. Minjun says, 3 times na atang nag-release ng budget nila pero walang budget ng infrastructure at na ito ang AFP modernization. Grabe ang corruption ngayon. Ay wow. Ito pa, sabi ni SJ, yung 1 million pabahay per year, na-excite talaga ako. Budol pa more. So, no wonder na budol tayo. They say one thing and do another. Wala kasi tayong record of him as a chief executive. Thank you kay Chester's Voice. Wala tayong we can only rely on the citizens of Ilocos Norte to tell us how he did as governor before. Nung gobernador ba si Presidente Marcos, maayos pa ang pagpapalakad niya? O iba rin ang inaasahan niya magpalakad? Thank you kay Pixie at kay Chester's Voice. Okay. What is the conclusion here? They lie. They lied to us in the campaign. They continue to lie to us. Okay. Thank you kay Pixie ulit. At saka kay TJ29, TGMII, thank you them very much. Halatang halata na pinaggagawa nila, tinatago nila ang katotohanan. Yun, so, pagkatapos may I'm so clean, I'm so lineous. Nagdagan pa natin. Ano yung sinabi ng unang ginang sa kanyang interview? Hindi daw siya nakikialam. Pero, narinig naman natin dun sa pahayag ni Madam Maharlika yung mga recordings kung saan nagmamakinate siya to have me removed. Hypocrisy. Ang tawag na mapagkunwari. Wala pong puwang ang ating gobyerno para sa mga ganyan. Lalong-lalo na yung huling-huli na kayo and you don't even bother to explain. Wala man lang sagot, wala na. What care kung anong iniisip natin? No wonder. Nung umpisa, bait-baitan. Nung umpisa, marunong daw sila. Alam nila kung anong gagawin. Ayun ang nakakapikon Alam nila ang gagawin nila. Na kumonsulta sila sa iba't ibang mga sektor. Inalam nila yung mga issues ng bawat sektor na yun at ginawa ang mga plano base dun sa kanilang pakipagbalitaktakan sa mga miyembro ng iba't ibang sektor dito sa Pilipinas. Ano ang ginawa nila once nakaupo? Deadma. Classic example. Agrikultura. Umupo pa naman ang ating Pangulo bilang kalihim ng agrikultura, pero anong nagawa? Abay, binaliktad pa niya yung kanyang desisyon doon sa isang undersecretary na nagpirma in his behalf without him knowing it at nag-import ng 300,000 tonelada ng asukal. Ang asukal po kasi ay very sensitive na commodity. Nung nagkaroon kasi ng crisis dito sa ating mga producers ng asukal, nung nawalan sila ng merkado, nawalan sila ng quota doon sa mga ine-exporta nilang bansa, talagang nag-clamp down tayo on imports. Dahil konti lang ang i-import ninyo, ay mapa-flood na kagad ang merkado. So, ano nangyari naman dito? Bukod pa dyan, hindi nila sinasabi under the guise of kailangan pababain natin ang presyo ng pagkain. Kaya pag iigtinin natin ang sistema ng importation, hindi pa sinabi na actually ang target nila ay isda at saka asukal. Kasi meron naman sila palang naiisip na importer at meron silang target para dun sa additional na imports na yon. Kalokohan na lang talaga ang communications ng gobyernong ito. They don't even mind anymore na huling-huli na sila sa kanilang pagkukunwari at sa kanilang pagka-ipokrita. Sabihin, gusto nila magpababa ng presyo ng pagkain. So, ang kanilang solusyon ay importation. Sino ba ang kumikita sa importation? At kailan pa, since 2022, bumaba ang presyo ng pagkain despite the fact na pataas ng pataas ang mga amounts for importation. At ano pa, thank you kay Jing, palawak na palawak yung coverage ng ating importations. Dati, binabawal natin for certain sensitive commodities like sugar and rice and corn. Alam, ngayon wala na. Pinapamadali pa. Ano na nangyari sa pork? Hindi ba nakabawi na ba ang mga small, micro, and medium scale hog raisers natin? O tuluyan na silang nalugi at naghahanap na lang ng ibang paraan para kumita? So, ito pa, imbis na sabihin na hindi ako nagdodroga, ang sasabihin ay, I'm not going to dignify that. O ayan, ngayon nakakalkal ang kanilang pagsasanag ng investigasyon doon sa kanyang alleged na paggamit ng bawal na droga, ng bawal na substances. Imbis na, look, immune naman siya from suit eh. So kahit sabihin pa natin, ayan, may ganito, ayan, merong ganito sa pwede naman nilang sabihin, alam nyo, nung kabataan ko, parang si Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, ano sabi niya? I was a teenager, but I didn't inhale. Ewan ko ba? Maitan pa sila. Pagkukunwari pa na, I'm so not pakialamera, but just give it a little push. I'm so not pakialamera, pero ilan toneladang tools ang ginagamit nila. Alam pa natin kung nasaan ang masama niyan, alam nyo? Kilala natin yung mga operators nila. Yung isang grupo doon, ginamit pa sa akin eh. As if naman hindi ko mapupuntirya, press secretary ako at the time. As if naman hindi ko malalaman, kilala naman yung mga operators na yan. As if naman hindi ko malalaman kung sino yung nagpatakbo nun at kung sinong classmate niya ang nilapitan para gawin yun. Ay, kunwari pa, malaya tayo. Kunwari pa, malaya magsalita at magpahayag, pero ginurgol ang bustos na maisog rally. Ano yung rule? The rule is to allow. The rule is we have the right to assembly, the right to petition for redress of grievances. Yan ang karapatan. Gobyerno ang dapat explaining kung bakit hindi nila mabigay o bakit hindi nila magawa. Anong nangyayari? Mayroon ka bang narinig? Meron ba tayong narinig? Sa kahit na sino, sa mga opisyalis natin sa gobyerno magsabi na, wait, parang mali na yan. O ang ating Pangulo calling up the DILG or the mayor and saying, teka, bakit yung pinagbabawal? May karapatan naman sila dyan. Oh. Ano pa? Press freedom. Bakit ameme ang kanilang mga pet columnists? Bakit napakatameme sila on reporting din o dun sa nangyari sa Senado? I think we should stop blaming ourselves. Oo, nabudol tayo. Pero nabudol tayo dahil sinungaling sila. Di ba? Meron po silang mga at ito pa, the nerve na magbait-baitan sila ng ganyan. The nerve. Meron pang mga na yung unang ginang pangangalagaan daw niya ang heritage at saka kultura. Baka natisod na siya sa heritage at kultura, di pa niya makilala yung mga yun. Thank you kay Lupang Hinirang at saka kay Enrique. Thank you kay Andresa at kay Pixie. Diba? Parang, ang rule yata dito, parang ito na yung tingin kong nangyayari, para malaman natin. Parang it's like that joke. How can you tell when the president is lying? His lips are moving. My gosh. Thank you kay Percy. Thank you kay Mami Tapper, tsaka thank you kay Enero Tres at kay Leon Bumakal. Thank you kay TJ29. Grabe ang arriba dito sa sa TikTok. Maraming salamat po. So, ito pa yung nakakatuwa. Yun. Ang dami nilang trolls. Ayon dun sa ilang impormasyon na umaabot sa atin, take note hindi ko pa vete dito dahil hindi ako makakapasok dun sa lugar. However, ang sabi sa akin ay, ang ginagamit ay yung dating HQ. Dun daw yung kanilang mga troll farms. Bakit kailangan ng troll farms kung maigi naman ang ginagawa? Kung nagtatrabaho naman ang inyong PCO. Kung ang daming good news, at ano yung sinabi ng Presidente, kung ang dami nilang na-achieve, mahihirapan nga sa reporting ang press secretary, di ba? Kasi, meron na naman po kaming achievement. Yun yung problema nung panahon ng Duterte, hirap na hirap tayo mag-concentrate. Ano bang sasabihin natin na achievements? Sobrang dami. Pero di